Welcome into the Tri-Oval office. And Grant, I think it's time that we go right. What say you?
I think we have no choice, but I think it'll be a welcome trip to 70 something degree Texas after being in freezing Atlanta. So the weather looks great. Everyone's going to be making multi directional turns and they'll get to stare at SVG's bumper. What else could you want?
I mean, if turn one is anything like it's been in previous years, it will be, not even multi-directional, it'll be omnidirectional, just 360 all the way around.
It's going to be
Um,
coming to a screeching halt there pretty quickly.
so I know Michael Jordan is happy. I'm sure he'll be in attendance to watch his guy chase the three-peat at one of his best tracks. And he won't be cold this time like he was at
Hmm.
Atlanta. But anyways, let's get started a little bit. Let's start out with some of the news from the week. We'll be quick with it, because you know we'll just give our thoughts and opinions. Let's start out. Keelan Harvick was signed by Toyota TRD, and they'll get him started on a lot of just basically sponsorships and go run this dirt track, go run this concrete short track, give him opportunities. Not that Keelan Harvick was lacking opportunities.
Hmm.
This is a kid who has raced go karts in Europe for years, and his dad is a future NASCAR Hall of Famer. He's not lacking the like no the leadership or the money to go race, but still cool for the young kid. Um, and yeah, what do you think about it?
No, nothing really else to say other than happy for him, I guess. Toyota, they have like we're talking about, they've got a great development program. He'll probably get developed more than just racing. He's got the racing pedigree in the family, but he'll have the ability to have other people kind of mentor him, probably with on the track stuff as well, some off the track, probably some media type stuff, and probably fitness and health and all that kind of stuff that goes with it. So he'll just be able to. Starting at 13 and being able to do that's pretty crazy. So he's going to be just kind of he's going to be an animal by the time they're done. They're going to have him like he's built a racing lab. So no, just happy for him. We were talking about it earlier. It's only a matter of time till him and Brexton Bush are in there together. So we'll see when that comes.
And I think it's going to be very interesting because Toyota is, I think we could all agree, everyone who has a voice on this, is the deepest um, recruiting or prospect pipeline. Maybe not the best prospect. Well, I guess they have it now that Corey Heim and Connor Zilich has graduated.
Yeah.
But just a history of getting these young kids and taking them up into trucks, ARCA, into the O'Reilly series, and they come in their cup talents. So the question is, though, Toyota only has right now 10 um, spots, full time seats in the Cup Series, and two of their organizations are capped at their max because JGR can't expand beyond four because they're grandfathered in, and no one else can expand beyond three. So the only existing possible entry that's likely is an expansion of Legacy to three, but then that's only 11. That's actually, never mind. That would be 10 full time drivers there. So only nine at the moment. Only 10 really realistic entries, unless there's another big team coming into the sport. So it's going to be hard for Toyota to keep hold of all of these prospects, but I'm sure that if they're really good, they'll find a way. So, and it's so early for
Yeah.
Keelan Harvick. He may get in there and decide, no, I don't want to go NASCAR racing. I want to go and do sports car racing or IMSA. Or, he was wanting to go to Formula One years ago, so maybe he's more drawn to an Indy car. Who knows? Um, just the family name says NASCAR, but if he just has an actual passion for open wheel racing, I think everyone would support that.
Yeah. No, just happy for him. That'll be he'll learn a lot in there, I'm sure.
Moving on. Another or not another controversial thing. A controversial thing this week. The All Star race format was announced, and it is complicated, and there's math involved. So I dislike it just originally based off the fact that I have to do math. I graduated high school and my one class in college. I don't need to do math anymore. But basically, there's no more LCQ, and we'll run 75 laps with the full field, mind you, at an all star event to set a 26 car field where it will be inverted from finishing position in the first race to then have the top average finishers go to the All Star race. All of this is at Dover. None of this makes any sense at all to me, but I don't know. Let's hear your thoughts.
You called me crazy, but I was like, I kind of find it a bit intriguing. I think it's kind of cool. Um, Maybe I'm the only person on the internet that'll support that. So, NASCAR, if you're hearing this, I will gladly take tickets to the race, um, and I will do the math for you. I mean, I'll do whatever you want. But
The only,
I
the
think
only,
I think it's kind of cool. I mean, I'm not opposed to it at all. I think it's unnecessarily complicated for sure. But I don't think it's like so. You're not having to find like standard deviations. You know, it's just a little. It's just a little averaging. Nothing crazy.
I would support. I don't think Dover should have the All Star race in general. They should have a regular points paying race. Whatever. I like Dover a lot in terms of the way it races. But, I mean, it doesn't feel like an all star race. Between the venue, we're bringing the entire pack, and they're all racing together in a meaningful race here. So it might be one thing if it's like the LCQ is everyone who is not locked in. I think we could make an entire video on All Star Week about how to fix the NASCAR All Star race. Because, I
Probably.
mean, I think all but one sport has an All Star problem in terms of maybe all but two sports have an All Star game problem. And NASCAR's no exception to that. Like, I'm almost at the point of if I would rather either have the weekend off for the drivers or let's, just make it a points paying race. Because it basically is at this
Yeah.
point. Um, and I can't, and it's got to help ratings if it's an actual race versus the All Star race.
Yeah.
At least
People
you
can
would
kind of
think.
tune out. Maybe like, I can miss this week. Which I don't. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't really blame them. Doesn't affect the season long points. So kind of just is what it is. But yeah, I think the bottom line for me is it unnecessarily complicated? Probably. Is it kind of cool and am I intrigued? Also, yes. Am I going to watch it? Yes. So that's where I'm at.
At least they kept the pit crew challenge.
Yeah,
That's
I'm all about that. I think that's going to be awesome.
I think
That's always entertaining.
that's been a very rare decision making L for NASCAR. Like they've been on a pretty good hot streak, but we'll see how
Yeah,
it plays out. Maybe it's
maybe it's
better
cool and
than
everybody loves it. Who knows?
so. I don't want to judge it too harshly before we actually see it. And then if
Yeah,
it's really bad, then we can say it's really, really bad and NASCAR should have never tried it.
I think it's just going to be cool, like seeing these top guys get flipped and then driving through the field.
That could be cool. But the
That's
problem
going
is,
to be cool.
yeah. Let's see. Another, we have one cool trucks at St. Pete this weekend. There'll be the Saturday show at St. Pete before IndyCar kicks off their season. That's going to be a beautiful, glorious disaster. I cannot wait to watch it. Um, I have no faith in the truck field at all.
Yeah, it might be a slaughter fest. I don't know if I'm even allowed to say that or YouTube will ban us. But I don't know. I saw Ben Rhodes Holler headed down 75. So the boys are headed down there. Uh, I don't really know that. I don't. There's not much I can really say to give any preview to this other than
I was
we'll
gonna say, I think
see.
it's just cool.
We will see
You may
if
see a
we'll
preview
ever go
for you.
there again ever at the
I
end of
think
this
it would be
weekend.
really fun for the Cup Series or
I
the O'Reilly
selfishly,
Series.
yeah,
But
I selfishly would love it. I mean, like my brother-in-law's family's from that area, so I'm like, maybe we can sneak down there for a weekend or something like that if they were racing down there. But they better prove something.
imagine it's just the best race of the year for the trucks.
I mean,
It'd be good for NASCAR.
yeah, could be. We don't know. We'll see.
And let's see. This tells you how organized we are, everybody. We've talked about the All Star race. We talked about Keelan Harvick. talked about St. Pete, and now I think we just have to talk about the elephant in the room. Chris Gabehart has officially fired back at Joe Gibbs Racing, and
You
Joe
knew it
Gibbs
was
Racing
coming.
has added Spire Motorsports to their lawsuit against Chris Gabehart. You want to go ahead and just give a little bit of a recap of what Gabehart said to his former boss?
Yeah, I mean, maybe I kind of think maybe this is all things we kind of thought maybe happening behind the scenes, at least with the 54. At least I kind of thought that. But he said basically, there's differential treatment with the 54. He's not held to the same standards and yada yada. I mean, some things that I guess was kind of assumed with him being the grandson of Coach Joe, and not a good look. Kind of expected that part. Didn't really surprise me. There were some other parts that I was a little bit surprised by. I wasn't also surprised in the fact that he was talking about they were forcing him to kind of be on the 54 crew and be the crew chief there to try and bring up his performance. I mean, he is the only non-championship contender really out of the four, and the other three are just, I mean, historically have been way up there, especially just last year. So
And I mean, those three are like some of the most professional drivers in the
yeah,
field.
and
Just
then
like
he said some things about like he wanted sole ownership of the like certain things, and it
he
being
wanted to
like
make all the racing decisions.
yeah, and there was like they had to pass through some stuff with like with the some of the Gibbs and stuff like that, and I just was listening to that and I'm like, it's a family business, and like they want, I mean, checks and balances are a good thing. Like you don't want any like authoritarian, I understand like when you got too many chiefs in the TP, if you will, and not enough just regular
Cooks in the
fellas running.
kitchen was right there.
There's one of my customers always says that about one of my other customers. So that's just, he always says that instead of cooks in the kitchen. So that was just top of mind because he said it the other day. But yes, too many cooks in the kitchen, if you will. I understand that can slow stuff down. It almost turns into like a bureaucracy. Uh, but I mean, was anyone really going to give Gabehart that much pushback? I mean, it was probably just a matter of just kind of making sure everything was like, everything was all good, and they were just going to let him do his thing. That's just my speculation, but I don't know. I I've liked Chris Gabehart. I like JGR. This is definitely an interesting little thing, but I mean, I just am like the stuff that I'm hearing. I'm just like, this guy just. I think it just seems kind of like just yeah, just some of the stuff he's saying. I'm just like, ugh.
I mentioned at least in one of our preview shows before the season started that I thought there was a decent chance that there will be some dysfunction at Joe Gibbs Racing. So
Yeah,
I kind of
sounds like there already has been.
yes, and so like I mentioned the whole Ty Gibbs Denny Hamlin thing last year. And I mean that wasn't the only time teammates from Joe Gibbs got into it, and it was always involving the 54.
Yep.
So, and with Chris Gabehart leaving, I was like, I don't know how this organization is going to do. Well, we are two races into the season. We have a lawsuit. We have the guy whose name on the building is basically being accused of running his championship organization extremely poorly. And I mean, I know I said last week when we first addressed these rumors that it sounded like when Chris Gabehart said, I want full control of racing decisions, that I think I said the only reason I think that Joe would say no to that is because Chris would wanting to get rid of Ty Gibbs. And, possibly that meant bringing in a Corey Heim just to run a year and then, shipping him back off to 2311 and then finding someone else in a much more loaded off season. But I mean, with everything that's come out today, with just how much it seemed like he really hated working with Ty Gibbs. And I saw a clip that was reposted this morning. I think Gluck had it of a radio exchange between Gibbs and or Ty Gibbs, excuse me, and Chris Gabehart, who was basically working as his crew chief the second half of the season
Yeah.
at Watkins Glen. And he was like, Ty, you need to take it easier on your tires. It's not working out. Just we need to make this until lap whatever.
Hmm.
Ty doesn't listen, says, let me race. The car's fast. I'm going to drive. I'm a driver. And then, like 6, 7 laps late, jeez, it keeps happening. I'm a big Corey Heim fan. Um,
Aren't we all?
but a few laps later, Heim starts talking about,
Gibbs.
oh, my tie, or sorry, yeah, Ty starts talking about how bad his tires are. He's got watermelons out there. He can't do anything. That's all Chris Gabehart's fault. And he needs to come to a pit road right now. And Gabehart just says, well, as soon as you want to start making the decisions, you can climb out of the car and get up here on the post box or up on the crew chief box. And he's just like, well, I need to come down pit road right now. I can't drive at all. Well, Ty, you should have listened to me. You're going against our strategy. We're going to leave you out there. And then they just drop like a rock through the field. And then eventually they give in. And it's like, okay, well, we have to come in because Ty, it just seems like the relationship there was not good. He mentioned Ty just didn't show up to meetings sometimes or was very late to certain meetings. And that would just not be the case for the other three drivers or anything because they knew there would be consequences to it, and
Yeah,
there's no consequences for Ty. Um, so I think that's interesting. I think some of the other stuff he said about maybe not sharing, which saying he never intended to give that information to Spire or
that's
anything
total
like that,
crap.
that
That's such crap.
allegedly feels not real.
That's
And I
such
know
crap.
there was a forensic investigation of his devices, and they came back clean and said he was never sharing anything.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to. He has it
But
on his. He still has it.
as I'll say, but I mean, how easy would it be for him to be like, oh, well, Briscoe was really fast at the super speedways last year. Why don't we give all three of our guys his base setup and then play from there? That's
Yeah,
all it means. Um, and then, of course, tomorrow or Friday, depending on when this gets released, maybe today, maybe yesterday, who knows? There is a hearing on JGR's restraining order against Chris Gabehart, which basically would keep him from doing any work at all in the NASCAR Cup Series for at least 18 months. And so we'll see how that plays out. But I think this is going to get a lot uglier before it gets resolved.
yeah.
Even though I do still maintain I think it's going to get resolved at a court.
The things that happen to you when you have to work with Ty Gibbs. That's I
Yep.
guess that's my takeaway. Like I said before, these are all things that I think some of us kind of assumed, and that I wasn't exactly shocked to hear. And I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, moving past the news of the week, I still think I'm forgetting something, but it's okay.
I don't know. I think we're good.
Um, we're gonna move on to a new segment on the show. It's the most creative thing that anyone has ever done. We're gonna do power rankings. Everybody at home, clap. We're doing a still creative.
Wow, no one's ever done this before.
No, not at all. But I have not seen Grant's power rankings. He's not seen mine, and we're gonna pop them up on the screen right now. Wow, Grant, those are crazy. You see, we don't actually get to see them. It's all done in post by editor me, but we will read them off to each other now. Grant, who do you have in your top 10 power
Which
rankings?
do we want to go 10-1 or 1-10, or do I
Let's go
just
10.
tell you right now that Cody Ware's number one?
I mean, you do you, buddy, but I think
Okay.
you just go 10 to 1 fully and then we'll discuss.
Okay. I'll just list them through. I'll just say the numbers of the guys, and you can do the same, and then you can just we'll deliberate after each of us say it. I guess. All right. Starting with my honorable mention, because I think we said we could do one of those. I had SVG. I'm still scared of that man. Um, 10th, I have William Byron. Not also have we established this is solely off pretty much just vibes and not like points or anything.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially only 2 races in. I think
Yeah,
vibes count for quite a bit.
these are my vibes. 10th, I've got Byron. Ninth, I've got Ross. Eighth, I've got the 17. Sixth or eighth, I've got the 17. Sorry. Seventh, I've got the 6, Brad K. Sixth, I've got Zane Smith. Fifth, I've got Hosevar. Fourth, Blaney. Third, um, Chase Elliott. Second, Bubba. First, Tyler Reddick.
All right. Okay. So we do have a little bit in common, at least.
That's actually a little bit shocking.
But I do not have an honorable mention because I'm a man and I don't subscribe to
You said that you.
that. I just couldn't think of another driver. I wanted to get him out, okay?
That's fair.
Um,
I wanted SVG in there, but he wasn't in my top 10. Didn't feel right.
I went with number 10, Daniel Suarez. Number 9, SVG. Number 8, Chastain. Number 7, Priest. So I do have one RFK in there. Number 6, Logano. Number 5, Zane Smith. 4, Chase Elliott. 3, Carson Hocevar. 2, Bubba. And number 1, Tyler Reddick.
Wow, our top 2 are the same. That's crazy.
It's almost like they led a majority of the laps and won the races.
Mm-hmm. Won all the stages too, pretty much. Crazy.
Yep.
Where's Riley Herbst? Who?
13th.
Sorry. Say yours again. Just go run through them real quick.
Suarez, SVG,
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Chastain, Priest, Logano, Zane Smith, Elliott, Hocevar, Bubba, Reddick.
Similar.
It's similar enough, I think. The thing I didn't get with yours is I don't understand how the 6 is that high. The 6 are the 17 in general. I mean, it's just that they didn't necessarily have a bunch of speed at Atlanta. I guess they
Brad led laps.
Brad led laps. They didn't have much speed at Atlanta. They kind of pit cycled their way to the front. And then Daytona, I mean, it felt like that was a little bit lucky in terms for Brad and Busher, but I mean, it is what it is. I'm taking Priest still because I thought, top 10 in Atlanta. He just didn't have speed at Daytona, but he did win the Clash pretty convincingly. So that was my reasoning for Priest over his teammates. The other guy that I have that you don't is Logano. And I thought he was just the best Penske car. He led some laps at Atlanta. He got spun out. I thought he was actually racing really well until he got spun out. So I don't really hold that against him. And he had a pretty good finish at Daytona. So maybe Logano is the one that I should remove and put in a William Byron. But I don't know.
It's vibes. We can put whatever we want to do. We can do whatever you want to do. Notice there's no 5, 19, 20. Those are really the big heavy hitters that are missing from this.
You have the 12. I do not have the 12.
I still think vibes are high with Blaney. I think it's just a slow start, but I still think the vibes are high. He still is running well, and I believe in. I think there's still mojo there. So it's hard. He's a hard one for me not to believe in, just across the board.
What if I told you at the beginning, 2 months ago, that we'd be, technically 3 races into the season, and it would be a perfectly reasonable power rankings to have only 2 of the big 3 teams in.
2 drivers from all the big 3.
2 drivers from the big 3.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that's crazy, kinda, because then I would say, well, we do start with 2 super speedways.
That's true. I don't know. I'm very impressed, I think, so far with Zane Smith. Has just kind of become one of, if not the best super speedway drivers in the NASCAR Cup Series.
Yeah, he's gross. He's awesome. He runs so well.
SVG, I mean, he would have been in both of ours if it was a top 12. So, And we haven't been to a road course yet. We're going to fix that this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the rest of the field has to be pretty terrified. But yeah, Hocevar. I have 2 Trackhouse guys, 2 2311 guys, 1 RFK, and 2 Spire. in my top 10. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but it's all just off vibes.
All
That's all
vibes.
that
It's a
matters.
quick segment. We don't have a lot to go off of.
No, we'll have give it a couple more weeks and we'll have some more substance to this one for sure.
And now, probably the thumbnail and the title of this video. Finally, you're here for the Cota race preview. According to FanDuel, the odds for the Duramax GP are your favorite, of course, is Shane Van Gisbergen at statistically his worst road course. He's still a very heavy favorite at only plus 115 to win.
That's ridiculous.
You want to take a guess? There's only one driver with better than plus 1,000 odds besides SVG.
Is it the obvious answer?
Well, I don't know what the obvious answer would be.
Zilich would be.
It is
Might be.
Zilich.
Yeah, that's the obvious answer to me.
Zilich and then Bell. Those are your three favorites, though SVG is leagues ahead of everyone, and then Zilich is the
How
closest.
far down is Michael McDowell?
Michael McDowell is the 13th best odds.
I don't think he runs particularly well here, but you never know.
And then Byron, Reddick, Elliott, Briscoe, Larson, Chastain, Bowman, Busher, Allmendinger bring up the top 12. So I don't know. I think if you've gotten used to seeing a guy like Zane Smith or Daniel Suarez is actually a decent road racer, but if you've gotten used to seeing a guy like Zane Smith at the top of the field, it might be a while, or at least you're not going to see him this weekend because completely different skill set, and it's SVG's world, and we're all just living in it.
But it is statistically his worst road course. So is he just going to show up with and seek vengeance on everybody and just beat the field by 15 seconds?
I was going to say, I think there is a real possibility that it being his worst road course makes it more likely he wins.
Yeah. I also think we'll learn a lot in the O'Reilly race.
Well, plus, I mean, if you remember the Watkins Glen race last year, after he got beat straight up by Chris Buescher, it was his most dominant road course win.
It was the MJ, and I took that personally.
Yes.
I remember I was excited. I was like, yeah, Buescher beat him straight up. This is going to be a fun race. And then it was just snooze fest. He just smoked everybody.
I'm just going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. Are we picking SVG? Like, just straight up, do you think SVG is going to win this race?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, we're going to both pick SVG. For the sake of entertainment, neither of us are actually allowed to pick SVG as our pick this week. I think we should have that rule for every road course this season, until at least proven otherwise, because it's just not fair for everybody to be like, you're just going to scroll your YouTube feed, you're going to listen to SiriusXM radio, and every single show is going to be like, oh, Cota, I don't know, maybe I should pick Reddick or Zilich or Chase Elliott or AJ Allmendinger. No, you're not. You're picking SVG because you're sane. But
it's like when you watch the Fox broadcast and like, who are you picking this week? Ryan Blaney. Every week. It's like, well, if we say it enough, he'll win eventually. It's like, I guess you're right, but it's like, good grief. Like, I was listening to the Channel 90 Sirius XM headed into the track, and I can't remember who was doing the pre-race show, but he picked Chris Buescher, and I was astounded. I was like, you didn't pick Logano or like Elliott, and I wanted to lose my mind. I was like, first of all, thanks, buddy, you totally jinxed it, but yeah, we'll get creative.
Speaking of heading into the track at Atlanta, Tyler Reddick was the winner there and in Daytona. He is looking to open up the season with 3 straight wins, similar to what Christopher Bell did last year, except he has a Daytona 500 under his belt this year. So I think Tyler Reddick in his, if we're looking at average finish here at Cota since the 2023 race, Tyler Reddick is the second best driver here. He has 1 win in 3 races, 3 top 5s in that time. He's led 51 laps with an average starting position of 2nd.
Ridiculous.
So I Tyler Reddick is realistically his best track here. He won in his first attempt here with 23:11, and I mean the vibes are incredibly high. He is going to have the best car this weekend of his teammates, just because I mean, realistically, if you're going to give it to a guy in that garage and spend a little bit of extra time and money on his car, it's going to be the guy who gives you a chance to win. And no disrespect to Bubba, I see he's gotten a lot better on these road courses, but he is not going to be in
No,
contention to actually win this thing. Top 15, top 10 contention. He's not going to be in victory lane. And that's going to be posted everywhere when he actually does it this weekend. Um,
clipped.
but I mean, I don't see how you don't like Tyler Reddick coming into this one if you have to pick a non Kiwi driver.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I feel like him and Zilich are the two basically the shoe ins for right after. So you're flipping a coin between those two. But if you had to pick someone besides SVG, are you taking Reddick? Like who like
He
where?
was one of the ones I had narrowed it down to. He is not my pick. Um, so I think it's going to be a very popular pick. Picking Tyler Reddick for good reason. I mean,
Yeah,
he has earned the right to be picked, but I think everyone kind of just wants to see the three-peat
yeah.
because it is
Well,
so rare.
oh, 100%. And I think I joked. I mean, it's gonna be a long season if I actually did this. I think I joked after the 500 that I was like, huh, I should just like pick the guy that won last week, and then
Yeah, you
pick him
did.
to win this week, and then Reddick wins again. And I was like, dang it, I should have just picked him. So maybe I should pick him. But now I feel like it'll reverse jinx itself. But no, he'll be a popular pick for sure. But we'll see.
Cota is probably the most physical of the road courses. I mean, we haven't seen San Diego, and now that Chicago is out of the way, I mean, Watkins Glen is a little bit of that. Sonoma's not as much, and I mean, those are the only two road courses we've been to besides Cota. So, I think that it kind of favors drivers who have been doing this a little while. Necessarily, I mean, most of your good road racers are young, but I don't know. I mean, it'd be a heck of a time for Ty Gibbs to win it. I mean, with everything going on this week, but I don't know, especially if this comes down to a restart at the end. He's typically not just the best at restarts, and he's not great on the long runs. So it's like if you get like a bunch of medium runs, I think Ty Gibbs might be in a decent shape.
Yeah,
But I don't. I think there's a lot hanging over him right now, and I think he's going to be a little bit distracted. But
probably.
he's another guy who you kind of think of when you come to these road courses. What about? Um, I'll let you name a guy. Who do you think?
Hmm. I feel like I want to like Reddick and Zilish are right there, but something's pulling at my gut instincts, and maybe it's you behind the strings being big brother. But Ross Chastain is dude. He's speaking to me like he runs well here. He's won here, and when it comes to like a guy you said that needs to be physical, it's gonna be Ross. Like he's gonna move you. So I have a lot of faith in his ability. I think the Trackhouse road course program is elite. And I think he could be one that you look up and you're like, man, we all expected the other two to be up here. Look who's also here.
Ross runs really well at Cota. It
Yeah,
is his best road course by far, and I mean, he did punt Chase Elliott to begin this race last year.
that did also
And
happen.
I mean, he smartly got out of the way at the waiting laps of just like, "Hey, buddy, I'm sorry, take my position."
Yeah.
Um, but so we'll get to actual picks later. I just meant like, who do you want to talk about? But I'm fine to talk about Ross. I
Oh,
love Ross.
I thought you were talking about a
Um,
pick. He
I
is
should have
spoiler
phrased it
alert.
better.
That's my pick.
Yeah, he is one that was on my short list.
Yeah.
I was texting my friend Nikolai, and I was just like, I asked him who he thought was going to win. He, of course, picked SVG. But
It's almost
uh,
like he has a channel dedicated to that.
yeah, seriously. Um, but I was just like, besides SVG, just I don't know. And I gave him a list of 6 guys. Chastain's one of them. Of
Can you share the list?
the list off the top of my head, and it's I mean it's not. I can't remember.
Putting you on the spot.
Yeah, exactly. Let me scroll down here. I've been very popular today. Um,
We get it.
I have all three Trackhouse cars:
Okay.
Allmendinger, Reddick, and Elliott as the six I kind of really wanted
Tracks.
to talk on. Allmendinger has been really fast here. He's not had the results. He has gotten crashed here quite a bit. Um, so I don't really know how to take that. Reddick is just a stone cold killer here. I thought he was going to win this race last year when it was him, Byron, and Bell who chased down Kyle Busch in the last 10 laps of this thing. And I thought he was going to make a run at Bell at the end. And it was Bell who ended up winning. Um, I'm not high on the JGR guys this week at all. I'm going to continue that trend until it bites me. So let's talk about though just like the guys who do run well here. So these are the driver average finish. It's not running position, but it's average finish here at Cota in the last three races. William Byron leads the pack. He's got three top fives and would win. Tyler Reddick, we already mentioned. Kyle Busch
Mm-hmm.
in three races here has two top fives, three top tens with 42 laps led, an average finish of 5.3. I I can see him running well. I don't think he's going to win here. I don't know.
Vibes are too low with him. I just don't see it.
After the last 2 weeks, I don't know. We mentioned it. I was just like I don't think I'm very high on Kyle Busch the rest of the year. Um, I genuinely hope he proves me wrong,
Yeah, same.
but I don't know. Another one that's kind of interesting to bring up: the best Hendrick car here. Rarely can you ever say that is Alex Bowman. He is the fourth best car in general here with an
He's
average
better
finish
than
of.
Bowman, or he's better than Byron here.
He's better than. Oh, sorry, not Byron. Byron's number one. Never mind. Scratch that. Even at his
I was about
best
to
track,
say,
he's not
wait a
better than his
minute. I did
teammates.
not think that was Byron's elite here.
Bowman is average finish of 5.3 in three races, two top fives, three top tens. But I think very interesting of that he's not led a lap, so he's very good at finishing high, but he's not
Just
had winning speed.
yeah,
So
gets up there and just kind of can
keep his nose
get to
clean.
the top five and yeah, kind of survive to the end.
So I didn't consider him, but Ross Chastain has the highest finishing result of all of the Trackhouse guys. So SVG, that's not fair. He's run here, I think he's run here once or twice. He's run here twice, and Trackhouse equipment the first, and the second time, colleague equipment the first time. Not really fair to him. And like I said, statistically, he has the worst road course, and he finishes statistically your worst road course, and you have an average finishing position of 13th.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, I mean,
Pretty good.
incredible. But it's guys you expect. Chastain, Busher, and six there actually tied average finish with Chastain. But Chastain has a top five in the last 2 years. So that averages out and has 10 laps led to Busher's one lap led. Chase Elliott, Bell, SVG, Chase Briscoe bring up the top 10 there. Um, Statistically, Cota is the best road course for the older guys. So if you think at Brad Kay, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, this is actually he's got an average or he's like 12th in terms of average finish here
For
in
a
the entire
road
field.
course, that's pretty good for him.
Yeah. So I think something that's come up a little bit. You said you heard it on Sirius this weekend that Brad with his broken leg, with him not having a fantastic road racing um, pedigree at least, might jump out of the car. And his backup racer this weekend is
Joey Hand.
Joey Hand. So he has run, I believe, 7 races here. I have it. I had it pulled up on Racing Reference. Where are you, buddy? Um, did I accidentally knock out this tab? I'm going to be actually really mad if I did. I did. Um, so Joey Hand has 7 races in the next gen era. One of them at Cota. It was not good. I don't believe he finished. But 6 of those 7 starts are for Rick Ware Racing, who is not competitive at the slightest.
What?
In an RFK car at the Chicago Street Course last year, he finished fourth.
Yes, I was about to say I'm pulling up the stats again right now. He was fourth at RFK.
So,
His best finish
in
with Rick Ware was at Sonoma, and it was 20th.
yeah, so which is a really
Thanks,
good
Rick,
finish for a brickware car.
for
So,
unless you're at
um,
Daytona.
exactly. So I think there's a decent possibility that Brad just takes a week off. He goes until the first caution, which may come pretty early, like we said. Just someone bomb shoot, just taking a dive bomb into turn one and brings out the caution. We're going to come down for fuel and we're going to get Joey in the car. And he might race better than Brad, anyways. So,
Probably will. If I was Brad, I'd be trying to get out of that car as fast as possible just to avoid turn one at all costs.
yeah. So, I think there's a real distinct possibility of that happening. But we'll see what actually happens come Sunday. And I know Brad hasn't talked about it. He's never going to admit that I don't want to be in the car. But at the same time, this is the owner of the team. He's got to make business decisions, especially if he wants to race for another 8 years.
Like he said
So,
he did, yeah. And plus, you got to protect the points.
yeah, I mean, it's not like the old chase format or the old playoff format where you can win one race and be
Not
fine.
that
Like,
he's really won a ton, so
yeah.
either. So he's started off a lot better than he did last year. So it's time to protect a little bit
How
as you
about
heal
your
up.
guy here? This Chris Busher. How are you feeling going into Cota?
I feel like he'll be good enough to run. Probably, I think his ceiling's top five. I don't think he'll probably have the speed to win. He doesn't typically have the speed to win here, but he's got speed to. He can turn a top 15 into a top 10, and he can turn a top 10 into a top five, and that's kind of where I'm at. He'll probably avoid a wreck or two, run pretty well, hopefully get some stage points, and hopefully walk out with ideally just like a top 10, top 12. That's kind of my expectations. I don't expect him to have winning speed, but I think he's talented on road courses, so you never know.
I know Bell and Reddick were either 1-2 or 1-3 this year, or last year here. This has been historically a pretty Chevy dominant track, at least in terms of if you look at the top five guys. So, like Kyle Busch runs really good here in a Chevy. Ross Chastain, SEG is going to be a factor. Connor Zilic ran this race last year, kind of got punted in the first few laps, had
Yeah,
to go back and he cut a tire, so he had to go to pit road, wound up at the back, drove his way back up into the mid pack before he got wrecked by his then teammate, Daniel Suarez, out for the race. So he'll have speed, but I am very interested to see how he measures up in a car that he has significantly less experience than SVG in, and then even more less experience, even wider delta than Ross Chastain or the other guys on the track that will be racing at the front of the field. AJ Allmendinger is interesting. Like I said, the finishing position is not great, but his running position is pretty good.
yeah.
Um, I think he's going to be a pretty popular like upset pick just because it's AJ.
People always
And
do. Yeah,
but he's not my pick. I'm not going to pick Chastain again this week because I felt vindicated picking him last week, and I don't want to ruin that.
fair.
Um, but like I said, I think he's going to. I will call a top five finish for him. I think there is a very good possibility that we look up and that beautiful Bush Light #1 in the Texas colors with horns on the hood, that he'll be there at the end, and he's probably going to use those horns. If I had to guess, knowing Ross
Mm-hmm.
Chastain, I'm gonna go ahead and give you my pick, and you're not gonna like it. I have Chase Elliott winning this race. He has not been the best road course driver in this era. He hasn't won one, despite dominating the road courses in the Gen 6. Um, Part of that is because there was no SVG in the Gen 6. But Chase at Cota, I thought last year he had the fastest car. I think he would have won this race last year if he didn't get punted by Ross on lap one, and he clawed his way through the entire field back and salvaged a top five out of it. So I think Elliott's gonna. He's started the season off really well. I mean, he was gonna win the Daytona 500 on the back stretch, and he gets wrecked out. And then he had a really good run at Atlanta, finished 11th. I thought he ran probably faster than that most of the day. Completely different type of track, but I think that Chase Elliott's a little bit due if we are talking about a road course win. And there's a certain friend of ours who would be very, very happy to hear the siren in Dawsonville, Georgia.
Oh
So
yes,
I'm my non SVG winning pick will be Chase Elliott, and so I think we're both competing for second here. But I will take Chase to get his first win of the season.
it's a good pick.
Um, I think it was a
I'll give you
little off
respect.
the beaten path for me.
Yeah,
I wanted to pull it out just to surprise you. So, but Ross was my number two, so I'm glad I
yeah.
didn't pick him as well as you. Because if we both go off of SVG to not make it boring, and then we both pick Ross.
Then it's
Um,
almost as boring.
None of this will matter when Tyler Reddick passes SVG in the S's on the last lap. So, anyways, I think that's a good place to stop it. We'll see if I'll be streaming. We had a little bit of a weird week this week, both of us. So we will eventually get that casual take on NASCAR out whenever the guy who's supposed to be in it has two legs again. That would be fun.
That's always good.
And yeah, exactly. And for everyone at home, tell us who you think is going to win the race here at Circuit of the Americas this Sunday in Austin, Texas. I've got Chase Elliott. Grant has Ross Chastain. And, let us know why we're wrong in the comments below. That's always fun. Call us
Just
weird names.
don't say we're wrong because we didn't pick SVG, because we
Yes.
did.
Yes. Use your earlobes and your brain. So, anyways, for Cayden, that's Grant. And we'll see you next time on the Tri Oval Office.